Sean Huckster here. Welcome down the Mighty Max rabbit hole. Today I continue Series 2 Doom Zones with Mighty Max caught by the Man-Eater. The Man-Eater is, as you'd expect, a shark. So it's a pretty nasty shark. Here's your gills. You've got this very exaggerated nose stuck up here. You got these massive teeth with blood on them and these gums revealed. Obviously, somebody's been after this shark because there are ropes and hooks all over this thing. Like they're just stuck into his skin and wrapped around his fin. Like somebody's been after this shark. But this shark is not all it seems. And we're going to reveal that shortly. But I guess we'll kind of spoil it because I'm going to do the cartoon first. And that kind of reveals the truth. But we'll get to that in a minute. So in the cartoon, Dr. Kalamarus, who has been transformed into a squid-like creature, wants to take revenge on all creatures of the deep, which is kind of weird because he uses creatures of the deep as his attack drones. He has these attack squids that he uses. But now, the big mystery is that inside this shark is a submarine, or the shark, I guess, is a disguise for a submarine. And while he claims to be seeking revenge on all sea creatures, in reality, he seems to be just a wreck stealer. He has got a cannon inside and some treasure. Max teleports in, and the odd thing about it is he says, Dr. Kalamarus, I presume. So obviously Max is aware of Dr. Kalamarus. He didn't just teleport in randomly, which is kind of strange for these comics. Dr. Kalamarus sicks his attack squids on Max. Max gets them to tangle with each other, sort of. And then Dr. Kalamarus says, if the Manta doesn't stop me, my Aqua Blaster will. So the Manta is this manta ray that sits on top of the shark. And when I first looked at it, I thought, well, this is just a vehicle. Like it's one of Kalamarus's vehicles. But apparently it is a self-contained attack drone. And then Kalamarus threatens him with the Aqua Blaster, which to me looks a bit like just a standard harpoon gun. And Max taunts him, basically tells him that he's just a wreck stealer because he finds the treasure chests. Kalamarus throws his trident at Max, misses, hits the Aqua Blaster, and zaps that zapper. And the shark catches on fire and sinks while Max grabs the Manta as a vehicle and teleports away. So that's the comic book. Let's get into the Doom Zone itself, which is of course the real attraction here. So what you have is this shark, beautiful teal color, which by the way is a very common color among Max sets, and I can't really be complaining about that. I love this color. So Max has got the shark has got the two fins out here. He's got this one fin up here, black eyes, teeth. As you know, all Maxes, part of the interior becomes part of the exterior, and in this case, it's the three fins. The eyes are not in this case. They often are, but they're not in this case. But these three fins are part of the interior, and we'll see in a second. So let's open it up. Ah, look at here. So the first thing you see is this is not a shark. It's a submarine with a shark disguise wrapped around it. And the submarine is your pretty typical mechanical-looking sub. You've got these pipes and things here. There's a sticker here showing part of the engine workings. Max has a little foothold over here so that you can close the shell properly, just outside the sub. So we'll put Max here for the moment. Then you've got the zapper here, or the Aqua Blaster, and this rotates around, but not while the sub's in place, by the way. Then you've got these two fins. There's a bit of a secret there, which is kind of clever. And an even cleverer secret is the top fin. So let's open up the sub itself. The sub opens up to reveal Dr. Kalamarus. And here's the villain of the piece, a human that has been converted into a squid, and he's angry about it apparently. He sits at his control console in amongst all this red stuff, which is the gums of the supposed shark. And here you have the Aqua Blaster, which rotates around. A little caveat here. I have purchased 3 of these. And in 2 of the cases, the tip has been broken off of the harpoon gun. And I call it a harpoon gun because, let's face it, it looks like one. But if you're not careful, you can close this clamshell down and break that off. So be careful about that. Excuse me. Kalamarus is stuck into his little spot here. He's got a pin here, so he sits right here. I just revealed one of the secrets, of course. This is the attack squids. The attack squids form the fins of the shark. And this is really beautiful because they sit so that the eye, it's basically a squid inside a kind of a nautilus shell type thing that just happens to look like a shark fin. Then you've got the eye here, and then there's another eye here. So it's really like a squid's body, but exaggerated. And the clever thing is, these are identical. These are copies of each other, and yet when reversed around, one sits on top of the other very cleverly so that they don't interfere with each other. They kind of lock in place like this, which is really beautifully designed. Also, these eyes are bulged out enough so that they fit into these little calderas here, these little dips in the rock, and that kind of holds them in place while the arms of the sub clamps them down so they don't move around, and they become solid fins on this shark, which is really clever design. Whoever designed this, my hat's off to you, sir. Or man. Let's talk about the shell itself. So obviously we have machinery here. We have this treasure chest that Max cleans it out. He's not really out for anything other than himself because he's stealing treasure from wrecks. You have this cannon here, which is more evidence that, he's been looting wrecks. And there's some machinery here. Some more gold here, the calderas here. You're still, there's still like the bottom of the seafloor. You've got a giant clam here. It would be really nice if that had opened to reveal something, but it doesn't. It's just molded into the body. And in the inside of the submarine, typical machinery. You've got control panels here overhead because Kalamarus would sit under here and look upward. So this is an overhead panel. You got these green pipes, all sorts of little details in here, which I kind of like. A little bit of organic detail here, but I'm not sure if that's just meant to be random pipes. But there is organic detail elsewhere. Like if you look inside, you've got very much the inner spine of a real shark, sort of. So maybe he figured out how to take a real massive shark body and wrap that around a sub. I don't know. And of course, one of the other cool things is all of the harpoons that you see outside actually come through, and you can see them on the inside. So they've actually penetrated the body of this shark. You also have your, I don't know if this is supposed to be seaweed or cables. It's just one of the strange things. And unusually for a Mighty Max set, there's only one dead skeleton in here, which is, that's enough, I guess, to get the point across. Now, the other big secret reveal is this fin pops out and is the Manta attack drone. And it opens up. I mean, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. And it forms a Manta array, which is absolutely beautiful. It's got these like teeth here. But then when you look inside, it's a mechanical drone. But apparently it's an intelligent drone because it is used in the comic book, at least, to attack Max and not be used as a vehicle. But the fun thing, of course, is that Max, where'd you go, Max? Max can stand, on the Manta. It forms a foothold for Max. And Max can use it, and in the comic book, he uses it to escape before teleporting away. Pretty clever. This is like, not one of my favorite, just for the looks alone, but in the design aspect, it is probably one of the most brilliant. I love this Manta array, this folding Manta that takes all of its workings, snaps together, forms the shark fin, and snaps really tightly and beautifully right into the top of the body, and forms the top shark fin. And I gotta tell you again, I really do love the attack squids. The way one sits here, you gotta put this one in first because his tentacles go below. And then this one goes on top. You just put the eye in the caldera and the two tentacles kind of mesh together nicely. Let me just make sure they do that. And when they're in place, you lower the submarine, which locks their fins in place. And now they just don't move much. They move a little like anything, but they're really tightly in place. And let's pop Max back into his foothold. Oh, let's put Kalamarus back too, I guess. Kalamarus can go back into his control panel here, sit in front of his control panel. Pop the squids back in place. Lower the submarine. Make sure that the harpoon is pointing forward when you lower the submarine. That's how this harpoon gets broken, I'm sure, in several cases I've seen. And Max goes into his foothold here. It's a little bit of a tight spot for your fingers, but he does manage to fit there nicely. And then you close the whole shell, snap shut, and that is Mighty Max Caught by the Man-Eater. Series 2 Doom Zone. They really do get kind of strange as we move forward, so be prepared for that as I start to do more upcoming. So this is the second of the Doom Zone series I'm going to do. The next one, I don't know which one I'm going to do next, so stay tuned and find out with me. All right, Sean Huckster out. Thank you very much. By the way, I love reading comments, answering comments if there's a response required. So if you want to leave comments or like the page or whatever, no pressure or anything, but if you have any questions or if you point out something where I'm wrong or you see a secret that I missed, please let me know. Anyway, Sean Huckster out. See you next time.